I was buried underground, an ancient zombie that has been sleeping for thousands of years. But at this moment, he was dug out and forcibly bound to the Dragon Kingdom. Abandon your luck and join the strange talk about rules. When the people of the Dragon Kingdom see their chosen one, a sick system, all shocked. Just because Baga Kingdom failed after a total of 7 times, leading to the fall of the country. And now the Dragon Kingdom has lost 5 games in a row. The story will be strange even if it fails twice. Cease to exist. But before I fall asleep, it's an ancient zombie that stepped into the sure path. This allows me to continuously absorb the negative energy of the ghost story world, thereby enhancing strength. At this moment, a cold reminder sounded, ringing in the ears of people around the world. This round of weird rules talk has started around the world. This round of game copy no, for 100 for psychiatric hospital. Copy difficulty level C. Here, hundreds of high-risk mental patients are imprisoned in layers. There are rumors that the hospital exploited mental patients, conducted cruel and inhumane biological experiments. At the same time, countries have opened their own national channels one after another. Can't wait to see it. Who is the winning player this time? But when my appearance comes into view, everyone's faces became extremely ugly. I saw me in front of the screen looking at the surrounding environment. My cheeks are sunken, sickly fair skin. The body and limbs are even thinner, as if they only have a skeleton. He looks like a devil with sideburns. Many people from the Dragon Kingdom began to complain when they saw this. Is God really going to destroy our Dragon Kingdom? Why can't our Dragon Kingdom choose someone more powerful? I'm really convinced. We don't ask to be a big boss. Even if he's a normal person, that's fine. Choose a thin dog. What's going on, Nima? Don't call your attention to those upstairs first. There seems to be something wrong with this person's expression. He seems to be smiling. At this time I noticed a yellow paper hanging on the wall. Clear above. The taboo rules of this hospital are written on the ground. Rule 1 Hospital 12 midnight. Suspend all outdoor activities. If the patient leaves the ward without permission, do it at your own risk. Rule 2. The hospital rings the bell every 2 hours. If you need to use the toilet, please return to the ward within 10 minutes. Rule 3. After midnight, there will be security patrols and nurses doing bedtime checks. The patient must remain in bed. Don't make any noise. Rule for nurses on duty: wear blue uniforms. Note that there are no red nurse uniforms in the hospital. Please remain silent when encountering a nurse in red uniform. Don't answer. Rule 5. They lurk among patients. The noise will alarm them. You will be responsible for the consequences. Rule 6. The hospital will provide late-night snacks at 2 a.m. distributed by nurse. Note that the middle part of the late-night snack includes meat buns and braised vegetables. Do not eat. Rule 7. Security guards are responsible for maintaining safety at night. If you are in danger, ask the security guard for help, but remember not to bring red items when asking for help. Otherwise, the security guards will regard them as aliens. Clear as the camera moves. People in front of the screen also saw the writing on it clearly. After carefully understanding the rules, it aroused people's uneasiness even more. But I see this, but my heart gradually started to get excited. Although this rule didn't specify what they were, but they definitely contain a lot of yin ki in their bodies. But me, the reason why he looks so thin now, it's purely because of the lack of yin ki over the years. If you give me enough yin ki, not only can I regain my strength, you can even take it to the next level, even if you advance to a higher level of Corpse King. It's not impossible. After thinking about this, I started laughing uncontrollably in my heart. So I plan to take the initiative, because I remember the first taboo rule. All outdoor activities are suspended after 12 midnight. At this time, I walked straight towards the iron door of the room. Go and look. It fell on the chain door lock fastened to the door. I started trying to pull it off. But such a scene. But it makes people in front of the screen tremble with fear. Stop committing suicide. Please take a look at the rules. It's clearly written on it. Are you out looking for death? Can't you just stay in the room? I have to give away my head. But at this moment, the friction sound of me pulling the chain suddenly seemed extremely piercing. And behind me, there seems to be something inside the white cloth covered by the bed, trying to sit up as if being woken up. Violent struggle. The whole iron bed was shaking constantly. At the same time, the other two beds seemed to be disturbed as well. Underneath the white cloth, I also began to struggle and try to get up. Luo turned around fiercely and stepped forward, pulled off all the white cloths. Instantly, a stench hit my nose. only the hospital bed. A patient wearing a hospital gown is lying on each side. These people are all unkempt. I can no longer see my true colors at all, and their lower bodies were covered with excrement on the bed, because there are restraints holding them to the bed. So no matter how hard they struggled, they couldn't get up. But because of years of friction, the skin they were bound to has become completely necrotic. With a little struggle, the rotting flesh tore apart. Squeeze out the smelly pus. Fortunately, I am a zombie. I didn't feel much discomfort after seeing this scene, but everyone in front of the screen felt their scalps go numb. Everyone is reminded of Rule 5. They lurk among patients. The noise will alarm them. You will be responsible for the consequences. Broken, they turned out to be referring to these things. Fortunately, it was a false alarm. Although these mental illnesses are extremely aggressive, but it's tied up with restraints. Shouldn't be able to afford it. How old are you? Wait a minute. Something's wrong. One of the restraints seems to be breaking. The voice fell. I saw the restraints of one of the patients on the bed suddenly broke. Then the man suddenly sat up from the bed, and his eyes stared at me like they found prey. The next second, the man jumped towards me with a maniacal laugh. At this time, I was blocked at the door. There is obviously no way to escape. Seeing this anger, everyone in the Dragon Kingdom has completely lost hope. The timid ones even closed their eyes directly. I don't dare to look at the bloody scenes that follow. But at this moment, in the picture, I actually threw a punch. Just hear a bang. The patient rushing over. His whole head was smashed to pieces, and his body suddenly fell to the ground. The live broadcast room of Redstone Dragon Kingdom was completely blown up. They all opened their mouths in disbelief. What's the situation? This game can still be played like this. And after I killed Wei Yi with one punch. Take a deep breath. At this time, I looked like a sick person, directly transformed into a spirited person. All this is due to the yin ki just absorbed. Seeing this, I felt secretly excited. Keep going like this. It's not impossible for me to regain my strength. I taste the sweetness. He quickly locked his eyes on the other two people on the bed. But when those two people looked at me, but full of fear, the weirdness at this time, it's like a lamb falling into a tiger's den, and I with a greedy and evil face. On the contrary, it looks more like an extremely evil existence. Everyone in the Dragon Kingdom was completely confused when they saw this. For a while, they can't tell who is the real weirdo. About my behavior, someone quickly gave an explanation online. I'm an expert on ghost stories. Let everyone know about it. In fact, there are examples of weirdness. Detect some relatively low-level weirdness. Ordinary people can completely solve it. So our adapter. Not as powerful as everyone thinks. Everyone will encounter this situation in the future. Don't be too panicked. Soon something big will happen. Wrong, this young man is very capable. That punch is a bit of a foundation for drawing hair. But if it were me, Ma Wei Guo's own lightning 5 whips. Even better than him. As soon as these words came out, everyone understood what was going on. But even so, it does not affect the overall excitement of Dragon Kingdom. After all, it has been 3 years. This is the first time someone has performed well in Kaden. At least I showed up. Let everyone see a glimmer of hope in despair. I envy my family. We finally have decent candidates. Who is talking about our Dragon Kingdom? No one is talking. From today, our Dragon Kingdom has stood up, but the next moment, someone discovered something. Screamed, everyone look. What is he going to do? He wants to go out. At the same time, found a strange patient in the room, and staff from Buxiong Kingdom. When he faced the strange patient who broke free from his restraints, he also rolled up his sleeves and chose hard steel without fear. But the next moment, he was directly eliminated. When Longguo heard the news, they were filled with questions. No! Someone was actually killed by such a weakling. Shujin also fights against the nation. Nothing! Message back. Netizens from the North Bear Country couldn't sit still, but when they find out, the Dragon Nation Eagle Selector solved this strange time head-on. For a moment, the entire Northern Bear Country was collectively shocked. And just when they saw me preparing to leave the ward, their eyelids twitched wildly in shock. At this time, with a crisp sound, I saw me breaking the chains, opened the iron door. In an instant, everyone in the Dragon Kingdom was completely blown away. Really fierce. I never expected. He can actually break the chains. Don't talk about this now. He seems to be really planning to go out. What to do now? Brother, let me beg you. Can we hold on tight and stop wandering? But I can't hear everyone's pleas. I step directly towards the fear of the unknown. And with this step, everyone in the Dragon Kingdom, our hearts are collectively half cold. But at this moment, short and dull bells suddenly echoed throughout the hospital. It's the second rule. The hospital bell rings every 2 hours. If you need to use the toilet, please return to the ward within 10 minutes. My mom, the bell rang so timely. I was desperate just now. Fortunately, the bell rang at this time, in the hospital corridor at this time. One after another, the iron doors opened in response. Just now, more than 200 live broadcast channels around the world, already half closed. This means, at least half of the people. He was eliminated after not even making it to 2 hours, and the survivor who just escaped death finally ushered in a short respite. But leave the ward. Not everyone has the courage. Park Lee-hui from Maokai country is one of them. Because of the weirdness of the ward he was in, the patient did not break free of the restraints, so he took advantage of his inability to resist. Fortunately, I managed to solve 3 weird situations and survive until now. Park Lee-hui just glanced at the gloomy corridor outside. He immediately retracted his head. Relock the chain with your backhand. No matter what, I dare not take a step out of the ward. Long-term mental stress and the adrenaline rush caused by the scary atmosphere. His bladder has long been unable to hold it. For this reason, he did it in front of a national audience. Made a bold decision. I saw Pu Li-hui standing in the corner. A trickle of water flowed down the wall. Such a scene. Let Kenchibo break the defense instantly. They all yelled at him for really embarrassing their Kenchibo. At this time, Jack from the United States sneered. The rules allow for a 10-minute safety period. There can't really be any idiots. I thought it was for going to the toilet. Then he quickly left the ward holding the steel pipe. Although I don't know what is lurking in the darkness in the corridor, but he still tried to stay calm and looked for something. As expected, soon he was there. An intercom was found in the medicine storage room. Judging from the specifications and style, it is exactly the kind used by hospital security guards. That is to say, just use this walkie-talkie. You can contact hospital security immediately, and Rule 7 is to protect. Security guards are responsible for maintaining safety at night. If you are in danger, ask the security guard for help. Jack didn't delay when he got the walkie-talkie. I immediately took the time to return to the ward. Exactly 10 minutes at the same time. Seeing this, the American channel burst into cheers. Here in the Dragon Kingdom, after leaving the ward, I began to search seriously. I'm in an abandoned office. Found a document. It says Food Safety Inspector. This makes me very disappointed. Although I don't know what the use is, but I still pinned it on my chest. See this situation, everyone in the Dragon Kingdom breathed a sigh of relief. But after getting the certificate, I did not choose to return to the ward. He really found the toilet and walked in. As a zombie, of course I don't need to poop. I don't go back just to delay it until 10 minutes later. To this end, I also picked a pit that looked relatively clean. He squatted down leisurely. Seeing this, everyone in the Dragon Kingdom collectively broke the defense. Just start yelling. At this time, a scalp-numbing scene occurred. Only in the screen, I was squatting with a comfortable look on my face. But what I don't know is, in the toilet next to the cubicle, suddenly a strange hand appeared. Then one got soaked. The red hat with long hair that almost sticks to the body. Strange appearance from the toilet. Even across the screen, the audience in Dragon Kingdom were also frightened and trembled all over. Damn, he's almost crawling out. Brother, stop squatting. Move it! My indifferent reaction made the barrage almost despairing. Just when everyone thought, this time the world of ghost stories is about to end in failure. In the picture, I suddenly stood up. It's actually big. He swaggeringly pushed open the strange compartment of the toilet cap. At this time, the man in red in the toilet raised his head strangely. There seemed to be some confusion in his eyes. But my face is particularly excited. Because I'm on top of him. I saw the majestic heroism that I had longed for. I took a big step forward. Raise your fist. It hit Hong Yi's weird head directly. With a loud sound. Hong Yi's weird head was instantly knocked open by me. The audience took a deep breath when they saw this. Before anyone has time to type, I'm surprised. I raised my fist again and took the opportunity to make up for it a few times. After the strange red clothes have lost their shape, I decisively pressed the flush button on the toilet and was smashed into a puddle of tattered red clothes and strange fragments. also disappeared before my eyes. Then I went back to the place where I just squatted. Keep squatting. After a long time, the Dragon Kingdom audience completely came to their senses. Liu Bio is a good boy like me. It turns out it can be so late. Brother is so fierce. There is finally hope for the Dragon Kingdom. The audience in Dragon Kingdom is undoubtedly not ecstatic at this moment, because this is for them who have failed for a long time. It's a grand opening that has never been seen before. It's the hope of winning this bizarre discussion about rules. And right now I'm counting the time. Because the second rule is, the hospital bell rings every 2 hours. If you need to use the toilet, please return to the ward within 10 minutes. Then you will be responsible for the consequences. But I waited until 10 minutes before leaving the toilet, because I want to be tough and weird. Absorb their yin energy, improve strength. At this time I came to the door, found the same as when I came in. The audience also raised questions about this. What happened? Didn't it say it can't exceed 10 minutes? It's obviously exceeded now. But why are people okay? Are the rules fake? What worries the audience even more is that, obviously I keep moving forward, but not far away, but the toilet from before appeared again. At the same time, Camel Country Live Room, Ord, their chosen one, looking timidly at the toilet door not far away that I just left. Don't dare to take a step forward. He was afraid that if he made a wrong step, he would be wiped out by Weird, so Ord planned to return the same way. But I haven't taken 3 steps yet. His live broadcast screen disappeared instantly, Weird and weeping coming. At the same time, many countries are experiencing the same situation, except for those who did not leave the ward. Most of the people who choose to go out to use the restroom have lost their money. After the Dragon Kingdom audience found out, they became even more worried. But I'm not afraid. Just take a step forward and walk forward. After all, even if something strange happens, that's my futu. This action has always made the Dragon Kingdom audience worried. Some people even covered their eyes in fear, afraid of seeing bloody scenes. But the next second, what came was the sound of me pushing open the door. There are 3 empty beds in the room, but there is an extra piece of paper on the bed in the center. And just then, the bell rang twice in the corridor. This means arriving at 2 a.m. Then there was the sound of a card at the end of the corridor. I heard that I had no intention of looking at the paper on the hospital bed. But turn around and look. What clothes does the nurse who distributes food vendors wear? Because 2 rules may be triggered at this moment. They are Rule 4, the nurse on duty wears blue clothes. Note that there are no red nurse clothes in the hospital. Please remain silent when you encounter a nurse in red clothes. Don't answer. And Rule 6, the hospital will provide late night snacks at 2 a.m. distributed by nurse. Midnight snacks include meat buns and braised vegetables. Do not eat. When the camera turns to the corridor, the audience was all shocked. It's a nurse in red. As the nurse pushes the food cart closer and closer, the food above comes into view. There are 3 vegetarian dishes and to meat dishes, black pepper, steak and braised pig's trotters. After that, there are braised vegetables and meat dishes. How to eat this? And it's only 2 o'clock in the morning. Just this meal a day. Can I do it without eating? Wrongwo audience sees this. I couldn't help but mention it in my heart. At the same time, American live broadcast room. Jackson looked at the nurse in red and tightened her lips. At this time, the nurse in red took out a box of midnight snacks and handed it to him. This is your late night snack. Can you tell me thank you? After hearing that, Jack took the lunchbox nervously. He quickly closed the door. But the voice of the nurse in red came to the patient again. You took 3 boxes less. Suddenly, Jack's originally relaxed nerves became tense again. He looked with some fear. The iron door has been closed by itself. The nurse in red is also looking at him. Each ward needs to receive for lunch boxes. We can only leave when everything is eaten. Please don't waste food. The voice fell. The door that was originally tightly wrapped with iron chains by Jack, it opened by itself. The nurse in red was carrying another 3 boxes of lunch, passed it to Jack, just after Jack took it. Suddenly, the patients on the 3 beds behind him stood up immediately, pounced on him. But not bad. Jack quickly threw down the 3 lunch boxes with his quick eyes and hands. Just escaped a disaster. Then he retreated to the corner. But when Jack opened the lunchbox, the audience was instantly frightened and trembling. Is this manpower? It was obviously pig's trotters just now. Why did it suddenly become a human hand? The braised vegetables are actually made of human flesh. How can I let him eat it? Jack's expression in the picture also became more solemn. He saw that the food was still being eaten. Seems like he's thinking about how to avoid it. Then he discovered the 3 patients in the same ward ate with gusto. So Jack finally made the decision. He quickly put the meat dishes aside into the lid, taking advantage of those 3 patients, when immersed in the pleasure of eating. Quickly walked to them, pushed forward. Then he quickly returned with the vegetarian dishes in hand. Own corner. Those 3 hideous-looking patients. It can be said that no one is refused after eating everything on your plate. Then they immediately grabbed the meat that Jack had put down. And the nurse in red didn't wait until Jack finished the vegetarian dishes. Just left the ward. The American audience cheered so much when they saw this. It's really amazing. Jack is my god. Kimchi Country live room on the other side. I saw Kimchi Country's Park the Hui holding a piece of paper. Huddled in the corner. He looked frightened. Looking at the nurse in red who keeps approaching. That rare degree. It's like pinching one's own life-saving charm. When the Kimchi Nation audience saw this, they started to curse Axie. This is too damaging, right? This guy is just embarrassing us. Why don't you just throw that piece of paper away and go eat? But the most discerning people discovered the anomaly. Guys, it seems like every ward has this paper. But no one seems to have seen it yet. Didn't this guy from Kimchi Country just see it? But what is written on it that makes this guy so excited? And as the camera zooms in, the words on the note appeared in front of everyone. Take this note! Please wait for the nurse in blue uniform to arrive. Only from this can everyone understand. Why does Park the Hua care so much about this note? He is indeed a lifesaver. At this time, in the picture, Park the Hui is already being approached by a nurse in red. I almost fainted from fright. I don't know when. The nurse in blue appears at the door, but he opened the door to the nurse in red. Then in front of Peter, dragged the nurse in red out. Park the Hui saw this. Only then can I relax completely. Then he devoured all the material. As for that piece of paper, still tightly held in his hand. See this scene, the audience felt relieved. But when the scene really turns back to me, the hearts of the audience in Dragon Kingdom were once again clenched. I saw that after I took over for boxes of food, under the watchful eye of the nurse in red, opened them one by one. Although, I saw the food was obviously made from human flesh. But I was surprised to find these dishes are weird. There is actually a huge amount of yin energy inside. Seeing this, I almost laughed from ear to ear. I ate it directly in front of the nurse in red. But it made the Dragon Kingdom audience fall into despair. No, if you eat it, you will die. Why does he still want to eat? The sky is going to kill me when it's over. At the same time, the nurse in red saw me eating this meat. The smile is getting bigger and bigger. But by the time I saw it, I almost finished all of her boxes of lunch. Still lively and vigorous. Strong appetite. His expression became more and more doubtful. It is precisely because of these changes in details that the audience suddenly had new speculations. Suddenly someone discovered my abnormality. Yelled, "No way!" Family members, look. I saw that after I finished eating the box lunch. Suddenly he grinned and looked at the nurse in red. The nurse in red was obviously taken aback. He is strange. How could I be okay? So he took out a new lunchbox. He picked up a piece of meat and put it in his mouth, but the next second, the nurse in red suddenly lay on the ground and twitched, foaming at the mouth, rolled his eyes. It was smashed directly. I was a little confused when I saw this. This is weird and a bit heartless, and the audience was completely dumbfounded. Then I turned around and picked up the piece of paper that was on the bed before. A brand new rule has been added above. Rule 8. Cleaning ladies are good people. They just like to gossip. Please try to hear them out. Rule 9. Some patients are very lonely. Please be good friends with them. They will give you useful rewards. Rule 10. 3 meals a day and midnight snacks will be delivered regularly. Just eat enough. No need to eat them all. Rule 11. Danger while eating. Please wait for the arrival of the blue nurse. Rule 12. 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. every day. 2 p.m. It's rest time until 4 o'clock. Patients can move around the hospital, except for patients requiring examination. Rule 13. Stay away from all inspections. I'm a little confused when I see this. There is a clear conflict between Articles 12 and 13. At the same time, survivors from other countries. They also discovered the note one after another. After the research is completed, everyone's nerves immediately became tense. As for what's next, just wait for the next bell to ring. Waited for 2.5 hours. It is a great torture to the hearts of these responders. But I fell asleep without caring. Soon the bell of rule to rang again. The hospital bell rings every 2 hours. If you need to use the toilet, please return to the ward within 10 minutes. Hear this sound. I immediately jumped up from the hospital bed, the first one among all the survivors in the world to rush out. The audience were shocked. Looking at the lively and energetic people, I fell silent. Brother, weren't you sleeping soundly just now? Why does it feel like he's been injected with chicken blood in the blink of an eye? But this time, I went out and just stood in the corridor and looked around. Then he returned to the room and continued to sleep. Because I'm a zombie, I'm extremely sensitive to yin energy. As soon as I stepped out, I felt the dense yin ki in the corridor. But this time there was too much. I'm not sure if it can be solved. So I expected that this trip would not be fruitful. Might as well just go to sleep, as expected, just when many candidates are out looking for opportunities. Without exception, they all met the nurse in red. And there's more than one. The first thing they say is hello. Routine inspection. Which ward are you from? And that's exactly Rule 13, stay away from all checks. Some people want to run, but it's too late. Everything was swallowed up in a strange moment. More than 100 remaining candidates. More than 30 people died in an instant. At the same time, American Jack analyzed that he actually escaped this disaster. To be on the safe side, it's better to wait until next time before going out. At night, Jack also recharges his energy through unique sleep techniques from wilderness experts. Replenish energy. This method can make him sleep for an hour. Go on top of others for 3 hours. American audiences saw his performance. Everyone can't help but marvel. But Kim Chi-bo's Park Ri-hui was too scared. From the beginning to the end, he never left the hospital bed, always huddled in bed. Didn't even discover it in time. The rules on the piece of paper in my hand. Such a stupid act. The audience of Kim Chi-bo in this period yelled and cursed. Next morning, the sound of the dining car rang again. And this time it's the nurse in blue. Why are there only vegetarian ones? I picked up the food with an increasingly grim expression. Originally, I was still hoping to replenish my yin energy with some meat dishes. Take care of your body. How good it is now. The meat is gone too. Where is my meat? Did you eat it secretly? I didn't believe it and asked the nurse in blue. The nurse in blue was startled by my momentum. Shake your head quickly. It's really impossible to steal the patient's food without us. Got a definite answer. I was bored and ate a few bites of vegetarian food. Breakfast time. Because there are nurses in blue. Basically safe and sound. Many survivors are just sitting in the ward. Analyzing the rules. There are also exploration-based ones like Jack's. But the scope of their exploration was limited to the ward. After all, it's not time to rest. No one dares to mess around. As for me, I fell asleep again. As the clock turns to 2 p.m., bells rang throughout the hospital. Then came the hoarse voice from the speaker. Invite patients to come to the activity area for a walk in an orderly manner. Please proceed in an orderly manner. Don't push, crowd, or make noise. Don't cause any inconvenience to other patients and friends. When the time reaches 4 o'clock, I hope all patients can return to the ward in an orderly manner. Don't run around. There will be protection. The doctor is going to check the ward. Please also cooperate with me. Have a nice afternoon. End of voice. The players' nerves that had been relaxed all morning were tense again. They know the opportunity is coming. But this time I took a leisurely walk in the corridor. But I have an extra brand on my chest. I fumbled it out from the ward yesterday. It's stained with yin energy, so I judged that it has its use. At this time, a middle-aged woman approached me curiously. Boy, why don't you go downstairs? After looking up and down, he found the sign I stuck on my chest. Turns out he's a food safety inspector. Hello, comrade. Are you lost? Do you need me to help you lead the way? It just so happens that we are quite close to the cafeteria. I took a general look at the middle-aged woman. It's easy to tell from the tools in her hands. The middle-aged woman in front of me is a worker in the cleaning industry. Sudden, I remembered Rule 8. Cleaning ladies are all good people. Just like to gossip. Please try to hear them out. So I continued what PNG said. Okay, could you please let me go to the canteen to test a batch of food? But I forgot the way to go. The voice fell. The cleaning and finally came with her eyes shining. There's a shortage of people over there. There's no wind, just waiting for you. Such enthusiasm makes me feel a little strange. Is there a shortage of people in the canteen? The cleaning lady smiled and nodded, of course. That's where the most people are needed. I have changed several. Not suitable. I hope you are qualified for this job. Come with me, young man. I'll take you to the cafeteria now. I nodded and followed quickly. Always feel a little strange. On the way, I was chatting and laughing with the cleaning lady. The audience in front of the screen saw this and made complaints without hesitation. Watching live broadcasts from other countries is terrifying. Look at us, it's just like chatting at home. It's totally out of tune with the rules-based environment. If you don't want to enter, you'll have nothing to do. It's so idle. The chosen one of the gentleman's country on the other side. After he came to the rest area, found a pretty woman. The woman is wearing a hospital gown. Sit quietly aside. Paul said with sincere pity. My beauty is so pitiful. Beautiful woman listening. His brows furrowed slightly. It looks like something is bothering you. Paul saw this. I am more convinced that this is the person I am looking for. Because according to Rule 9, some patients are very lonely. Please be good friends with them. They will give you useful rewards. So Paul planned to continue the strategy. Nice beauty. My name is Paul, from the country of gentlemen. May I have your name? Female patient still ignores Paul, but Paul still didn't react when he saw him. He came closer and sat down next to the patient. Do not worry. I'm here to help you. If you have any difficulties, you can tell me. Maybe I can answer your doubts. Paul said, trying to peek inside the sick woman from the corner of her eye. Listen to the patient. Still nothing happens. But Paul gradually became more courageous. His eyes gradually became unscrupulous. Just when it's almost clear, Paul made it. Something unexpected for everyone. Forget it, beautiful lady. It seems that you are not in a good mood. Not as good as this. I recently learned a set massage techniques to relieve stress. You can try. Let's find a comfortable place. Let me give you a massage. Okay, as soon as these words come out, the live broadcast room exploded instantly. They were all barrages calling him shameless. What is surprising is, this time the female patient actually responded, and he nodded in agreement. Soon the two came to an empty ward. But just pretend that it didn't take long after entering the room. Suddenly, Paul's heart-rending screams were heard. Only in the room, there was blood and skin debris everywhere. Paul is completely incapacitated, lying on the ground twitching. The female patient is riding on her. Keep biting like a mad dog. Paul soon lost consciousness. The live broadcast screen also turned completely black. This scene also made audiences from other countries. I couldn't help but break into a cold sweat. At the same time, Jack from the United States also found his target. That was an old man in hospital clothes. He is sitting silently in the corner. His hands kept gesticulating something. Jack came to the old man. Eyes turned into soft eyes. Old man, how about we play a game of guessing? I've loved rock, paper, scissors since I was a kid. Unlike Paul, the old man soon had the sea. Okay, young man. If you win, I have something for you. Jack was delighted to hear that. Really, these patients need special words to trigger. He just saw it. The old man is minding his own game here. Obviously missing a playmate. But just when Jack was eager to try, the old man's next words gave him a chill. But if you lose, then stay here. Keep playing with me. When he turned around, the old man showed a serious smile. Jack's heart tightened when he heard this. After hesitating for a moment, he still agreed. Soon the two had the first round. Jack picked up the old man's stone. A smile instantly appeared on the old man's face. Best of 3 games. Xiaohu, you have already lost a round. Jack started sweating when he saw this. His brain is working fast. I soon got an idea. Jack produced a stone in the second round. Old man gives scissors. Jack smiled. Sure enough, I guessed it right. Start the third round. Jack out goal. The old man made a stone. Jack breathed a sigh of relief after winning. Fortunately, I just observed it for a while. I remembered the order of guessing between him and myself. At this time, the old man showed a disappointed expression. Then he took one out of his arms. The lighter was handed to him. Others succeed in meeting Jack. They are all ready to move. Except Kinchi country player Park Li Huai. He huddled alone in the corner. Whenever a patient comes to me, he couldn't avoid it for fear of. Because I escaped disaster several times by accident, let him completely establish a belief. Would rather do nothing. Can't do anything wrong. Maybe I can survive until the end. At the same time, under the guidance of the cleaning ant, I successfully came to the cafeteria and the kitchen. When I walk in, my eyes suddenly lit up. The kitchen is stocked with a variety of fresh ingredients, a dazzling array of items, and these dishes are full of heroic spirit. Almost stone. Being strong makes me energetic instantly. I believe that after absorbing all this heroic spirit, I should be able to successfully move on to the next stage. But when the Dragon Kingdom audience sees these ingredients, almost scared to pee, because these are delicious ingredients in my opinion. In fact, they are all stumps and broken arms. There are various organs. This scene made the hearts of the Dragon Kingdom audience sink to the bottom instantly. Soon, a man wearing a chef's hat walked out of the kitchen. The man was still dragging a bloody intestine in his hand. Extremely uncomfortable. At this time, my indifferent expression also surprised him. He put the blood sausage on the chopping board, cut directly into 3 sections with a kitchen knife. Then he picked up a piece of intestine and came to me. "You are the new food inspector. Very good quality, better than the previous ones." Man stands firm when he speaks, pointed to a corner. There, the bones of 3 or 5 people were piled together, and on their chests. The same chest as mine hangs impressively. At this time, the chef grinned. "Put the bloody fresh blood sausage directly into your mouth." Swallowed. Then he bared his teeth and smiled at me and said, the young man said, "These are the prepared supper. 20 plates in total, and I have very high requirements for food. You must taste them one by one. Try to make sure there is nothing wrong with the food." The head chef flashed the metacarpal knife in his hand. He said with a gloomy look, "Don't try to fool me. I'm just staring here. What happened?" "You know what happens," he said, looking at the several skeletons beside him, warning for direction to look at. Such a scene let the audience of Dragon Kingdom directly despair. You should know that in these meals, if a normal person eats it, he will definitely die. But the next second, there was a look of shock in their eyes. I didn't even hesitate at all. I just grabbed the first plate and started eating it. The first dish is the original 9-turn large intestine. Just looking at it makes your scalp numb. Stained with bloody mucus and various secretions. Looks completely uncooked. And such a horrible and disgusting dish. What no one expected was that not only did I not show the expression that life would be worse than death, on the contrary, he looked extremely excited. After finishing the first course, I give the chef a thumbs up. Awesome. It's been a long time since I've had such delicious food. Chef, your level is too high. I admire it because in my eyes, these foods exude a strong yin energy. Every bite, you can all feel that your cultivation level is growing rapidly. You know, I'm a zombie, hiding in the human world for such a long time. The cultivation level is only a few hundred, and this bite, it's almost worth my 10 years of training. At this time, the head chef heard my compliment, stunned for a moment. I have been the head chef here for such a long time. I remember the last time I heard a compliment was the last time. And most people are hindered by his power. Just telling lies with your eyes open, but my performance just now made him suspicious. Language can deceive, but the reaction is unmistakable. The look of enjoyment I had just now, it doesn't really seem like he's lying. I saw the chef's eyes widening with some self-doubt. Really heard. I sincerely admired. Can this be false? Really great. There's still a mother smell. I heard that the chef showed a pleased expression. Laugh out loud, little brother. Tasteful and high-end ingredients. Often the simplest cooking methods are used. At this time, the chef patted his chest. Brag about yourself. And I followed suit. The two met each other late. I wish I could sworn brothers on the spot. The audience in the Dragon Kingdom in the live broadcast room became even more violent when they saw this scene. I can't understand my behavior at all. Or just pretend. At this time, the head chef took the initiative to introduce me to the next dish. Brother, this dish is my specialty. Kidney pie is a great tonic. How about you try it? The chef looks at me. Some expectations. At the same time, his eyes were fixed on my expression. As long as my expression is wrong, he would immediately cut me into pieces. Just everyone. When everyone focuses their attention on me, my movement stopped. When the chef saw this, his expression immediately changed. The fierce aura on his body almost condensed into 10 fingers and he fell to the ground. Why don't you eat it? Could it be that what you said before were all lies to me? Tell me. The chef instantly used the metacarpal knife in his hand, hit it hard on the chopping board. People from other countries see me deflated. Get excited as if watching a joke. Can't bear it anymore? I told you already. This guy must be pretending. If you can't eat the second plate, why don't you have to eat it? I was silent for a while in the picture. Open your mouth and say chef. I didn't mean that. It's just that your kidney pie is too high-end. I want to enjoy it with the highest etiquette. Could he please help me get cutlery and cutlery? Also so delicious. It's almost boring without red wine to cheer you up. As soon as these words came out, all the viewers couldn't believe their ears. No, big brother, just eat what you want. Really enjoyed it. Stop pretending. I think he still keeps talking tough even when he is about to die. I must be making this excuse because I can't eat anymore. He must be trying to get rid of the chef. At this time, the chef was a little confused by my words. It took me a while to react. Haha, laughed. I still have good taste, brother. Enjoy it too much. I happen to have a bottle of squeezed juice here. Collected for many years. Usually I am reluctant to drink it myself. You are in a good mood today. Talking, the head chef took out a sealed jar from the box. And the moment the jar is opened, a black-purple gas shot straight to the ceiling, corrode a big hole out of it. The chef pours a glass of liquid from the jar. A strong fishy smell instantly filled the entire kitchen. The liquid is gurgling and steaming. There's something else squirming inside. It makes people's hair stand on end when they see it. The audience seems to be able to smell it through the screen. All of them couldn't hold it back and vomited. Seeing this, I became interested. The head chef explained to the liquid in the cup, "Brother, this is my unique secret recipe. I thought about it for a long time and prepared it myself. Not only are there abundant organs, also mixed with various herbs and insects. All in all, it's big." I nodded, since it's hard to refuse my brother's kindness. That little brother, I won't be polite either. Feeling deeply in love, let me go and I will raise the metal cup. Lift your head and drink it all. Moment, I feel an extremely pure yin energy in my body, gathered together, so I speed up the progress. Start tasting the dishes, and while eating, he never forgets to praise the delicious food made by the chef. When the chef heard this, his face immediately turned red. Passionate. It's like a 1,000-mile horse meeting his bull. Brother, please eat slowly. Don't choke. Why don't you take a break? Don't be too anxious. I heard you tell me to eat slowly. I was instantly unhappy. Brother, don't persuade me. I have never eaten anything so delicious in my life. Just let me eat as much as I can. If you come again, don't blame me for falling out. After all, it's not easy to meet someone who can open up for the first time. Opportunity to replenish yin energy. I can't miss it. My words rang in the head chef's ears. His whole body was shaking uncontrollably. Happy like a child. The eye sockets also became moist. But I didn't pay attention. Instead, he ate with all his strength. 2.5 minutes later, I will eat all the dishes. When I licked the plate all over, I looked like I was still unfinished. The head chef seemed to notice that I was a little dissatisfied. I asked my brother out of curiosity, "You have completed this food testing assessment, but you don't seem to look well. Is there anything you are dissatisfied with?" I burped solemnly and was still a little bit hungry. "Can I continue eating?" As soon as these words came out, there was a moment of deathly silence in the barrage. Everyone's brains seemed to be down. Not nearly enough. I'm really addicted to it. Do you have some masochistic tendencies? Brother, what are you doing? The plane has completed its mission and is still not leaving. Is this guy out of his mind? He won't really fall in love with these foods, right? The head chef was also shocked by my words. You still want to eat? I nodded. I'm sure it is. First time to eat such delicious food. I feel like I can't get enough no matter how much I eat. It would be great if I could have a few more bites. The head chef heard me. My whole body was choked with sobs. Brother, don't say anything. Just open it up and eat it today. The dishes here are all you can eat as much as you want. Brother, let me show you what happened. With this sentence, I feel relieved a lot. So I focused on the remaining dishes, started to show off crazily again. Not only has the speed not slowed down, on the contrary, it sped up a lot. See me eating non-stop. The chef was so moved that he couldn't help but the viewers in the live broadcast room. It feels like the brain is buzzing. At this time, someone reminded me that according to the rules, completing tasks generally results in rewards. I didn't know that the task was overfulfilled this time. What kind of rewards can you get? The voice fell. I saw the head chef taking out a box. Come up to me, brother. In this world, shouldn't be able to find the second one. Food inspectors more qualified than you. Your approval. It gave me a deeper understanding of my own cooking. As a bonus, you can choose 3 things here. In addition, this bell is for you. The head chef put a remedial bell in my hand. And after I took the bell, I instantly sensed the hospitality attached to it. Then the chef explained, as long as you ring this bell, I will help you. But only one chance. Besides, it's a treasure. I don't know exactly how to use it. You need to explore by yourself. Hearing this, I gratefully said thank you. Then I set my eyes on the wooden box. There are about a dozen things in there. It's all debris. Most of them are related to the profession of chef. and I chose the 3 things with the heaviest yin energy among them. A kitchen knife respectively, a rolling pin, and a ring. I put these away and said goodbye to the chef, getting ready to go back to the room. Before leaving, I didn't forget to tell the head chef to hurry up and serve new dishes. I'm not full yet. This sentence directly fooled the head chef. I can't help but twitch the corners of my mouth. Good guy, you really don't regard yourself as an outsider anymore. The barrage in the live broadcast room on the other side has exploded. They're all talking about my reward. At the same time, senior officials from other countries' weird departments, they also analyzed the situation, especially when I got that lead. It looks very good. It will definitely have a big effect. It's a pity that I'm really a thief. Didn't reveal anything about the use of the bell at all, in addition to summoning the chef. But just the function of summoning the chef. It should not be underestimated. As long as you are not blind, everybody can see it. The difference between chef's combat power and other weirdness. Winning the favor of the chef is undoubtedly a good thing for me. Winning adds a lot of stakes. At this time when I return to the ward, others also return to the room one after another. But most people come back empty-handed. Only Jack from the United States. Pockets full of stuff. And this copy is only less than 2 days old. There are less than 20 volunteers left in the world. This shows how difficult it is this time. It's 4 p.m. in the blink of an eye. The sun suddenly disappeared in the sky. Overcast. A gloomy chill spread across the air, making the candidates feel even heavier. Suddenly the lights in the room started flickering. Strange shadow underhead. Some candidates were confused when they saw this, but there are also some players who are more ambitious. Fell asleep directly. Jack, on the other hand, has been looking around sharply. From time to time, he would look in my direction. He seemed to sense that I should be a strong enemy. I'm still expressionless. Don't know what I'm thinking about. At this time, several shadows in the corridor quickly passed towards the ward, and the ground shook violently. As if there was an earthquake. Everyone is confused. What happened? Something is wrong. Nonsense. Even a fool can tell something is wrong. You don't have to say it. Think of a way. You can't wait to die here, right? At this time, Iron Tower Bio Adolf didn't know when he came to the Iron Gate. Make a trembling sound. It's over. It's really over this time. Come and see. There are monsters out there. The words have not yet fallen. A long-haired one-eyed monster suddenly appeared. But fortunately, there are iron gates for protection. Just barely stopped him. The players from the Iron Tower country were so frightened that their legs went weak, running back, rolling and crawling. But soon more monsters rushed out. The Iron Gate quickly changed shape under their impact. So many monsters suddenly appeared. Everyone is panicking. Kimchi country players were so scared that they peed, hiding in the corner and shivering. American Jack thought about it again and reacted. Come on, he thinks the reason why this happened. Someone must have done something they shouldn't have done. As he spoke, his eyes glanced in my direction. Although others didn't say anything. But we all know what Jack is implying. The guard who saw him. Don't look at me. I haven't done anything. But Jack kept up the pressure. At this time, we should unite. Let's fight these weird things together. If we let them break through the defense line, everyone must die. Dragon Kingdom boy, you seem to have a lot of props on you. Why don't you share it with everyone? At the same time, people from other countries also followed suit. That's right, why do you need so many weapons for one person? Besides, your strength itself is very strong. You can kill weird with strength alone. Why don't you give us the weapons? This way we can still protect ourselves. And the layers of ashes that have always stood like an old dog also stood up. Yes, hurry up and hand it over. Don't be so selfish. Almost everyone is on Jack's side. When I saw this, I was just about to fight them. Suddenly, Butte, a player from Pakistan Railway, stood up and stopped me. Dragon Kingdom brothers, don't be impulsive yet. Then he turned to the others and said, is it appropriate for you to do this? Just like you said, Jack, we should unite more at this time, rather than infighting. Although the Dragon Kingdom brothers obtained many props, but that was all obtained by his strength. There is no reason to share it with everyone. If you want to divide, Jack, you should separate it too. This is only fair. I'm a little surprised to hear that. I didn't expect that my performance has not been very good. To be able to stand up at this time. Jack heard, immediately rebutted. I was speechless. Also at this time, suddenly there was a violent banging sound at the Iron Gate. I saw a huge strange one hitting the Iron Gate. It feels like it won't be long. The Iron Gate will be broken through by him. Jack saw this. He quickly yelled to deal with it first. It's weird, otherwise we'll all be dead together. As he spoke, he took out a blue dagger from his back. Rushed over, except me and Beatty. Others came to greet them with various weapons. Because fat people are larger. They actually stopped him. But under other strange crowds, the Iron Gate is still rapidly deforming. Seeing the deformation of the iron gate becoming more and more serious, Jack finally couldn't hold it any longer. Even if you yell, "Get out of the way," only saw a flaming bottle was thrown. Suddenly, there was a strange scream. Jack didn't hesitate when he saw this. Light the 2 Molotov cocktails again. Turn the entire corridor into a sea of fire. And this is exactly what he did when he was outdoors. Obtained lighters and other props. At this time, the sea of fire blocked the weird path forward. Jack and the others were all sweating. The other contestants saw how awesome Jack was. Immediately, I couldn't help but come up and kneel down to lick. Then everyone breathed a sigh of relief for the rest of their lives. Only then did others react. There were 2 sides standing behind. This immediately made everyone furious. They just wanted to punish us both. Suddenly, there was a rush of footsteps in the corridor, only one with green skin. The strange body covered with pus blisters was not blocked by the sea of fire. Instead, he rushed in along the sea of fire. The most outrageous thing is, his right hand turned out to be a chainsaw. Chainsaw chain rotates rapidly. I'm about to touch the iron door. Jack's eyelids twitched crazily. The Molotov cocktail in my hand is even more cost-effective. Throw it out! There was an explosion in the corridor. However, the monster just paused for a moment. The footsteps rushed up again quickly. Fire has no effect on monsters at all. Just when everyone thought, when it's really going to break this time, a figure suddenly jumped out from behind. Just listen to the sound of gold. The sound of cutting sounded. Weird arm with chainsaw. It actually fell directly to the ground. The monster instantly let out a piercing scream. Everyone was stunned when they saw this. I didn't know when I came to the door. There is also a sharp kitchen knife in his hand. At this time, I feel the yin ki in my body. About to break through soon. I guess if I kill a few more weirdos, it should be almost done. Just as others recovered from the shock. Not only did they not appreciate me, instead, he became sarcastic. Who is it? Take action now. All the monsters were almost burned by Jack. Didn't you just repel it because of Jack's influence? Weird, you really feel that you are very strong, right? Obviously, everyone doesn't think that I was able to fight off the weirdness just because of my ability. This time the credit mainly goes to Jack, being caught in such a rhythm. The live broadcast room is now filled with people who call me despicable. Jack saw that the time was almost here. He smiled and said, "Young boy from the Dragon Kingdom, it seems your clever scheme has been discovered. I won't embarrass you either. We don't feel safe with you to here. Why don't you go out and guard the house?" When Batai heard this, he immediately panicked. "No, you can't do this." However, others did not give him a chance to refute at all. He raised the weapon and forced the 2 of us out. "It doesn't matter. Walk straight out. After all, I don't have enough speakers. Want to go out and hunt weirdos? It suits me now." But Butte collapsed. He leans against the wall. He keeps repeating some words in his mouth. "How can you do this? Didn't we agree to deal with him together? How come you guys have even tricked me? This time I'm really dead. I was harmed by the dragon fruit kid. His voice is very small. Only he can hear it." I thought he was scared. Patted him on the shoulder to comfort him. But pulled me away. "Keep your hands off my damn guy." Obviously, he has given up any hope. Showed his true face. Seeing this, I also understood why he wanted to help me before. So I no longer care about him. It's like walking through the sea of fire with a kitchen knife in hand. And when the girl outside sees me, they all showed excitement. They all rushed to kill me.